Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. Follow me on Instagram at Perry Flips, Flips and Giggles on Facebook, eBay, and whatnot. And then I think that's all of them, right? Facebook, eBay, whatnot. Yeah, I don't know why I felt like there's more. We go live every Thursday night. It used to be Wednesday night. Sorry, every Thursday night. 8:30 p.m. We're live on Whatnot. Those are our regularly scheduled shows. We also do pop-ups, so make sure you follow us and just bookmark all of our shows. Just, why not? Um, what else? If you are still struggling to finish your taxes, there's still help. My Reseller Genie. I am a My Reseller Genie user. I'm also an affiliate of My Reseller Genie. And if you use my code GIGGLES, you'll get 15% off the bookkeeping software. You can also get 15% off their bookkeeping course, so you can learn like proper ways to bookkeep. And it's really a lot of help. I mean, I use it every year. I have to use it for my taxes, but I have it constantly on. Like I pay for it every month because it syncs up all of my information from my Whatnot and my eBay, and it makes it just a lot easier. So, my Reseller Genie. If you need some help getting your taxes finished, I know it's like the last minute. Uh, Try it out. It'll really help you. And yeah, use my promo code Giggles or go to the link in my bio on Instagram. You can check it out there. Okay, I think that's all the plugs that I had to do. I think that's all the plugs. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to record this podcast every week. I'm trying a new location. I tried on the table and it didn't look right. It looked weird. Um, so now I'm on the couch here and yeah, we're trying to get everything organized still. This couch is actually going to be gone. We're trying to get rid of this thing. It was my mom's couch and it's a comfortable couch. It's like it's almost brand new. Like she bought it a couple years ago, brand new. And then barely had like she had her dog laying on it, but dog and cat, but we vacuumed it all up and we're trying to get rid of it. And it looks like I'm gonna have to take it to the dump, which sucks because it's like basically a brand new couch. We keep having people that, people check Facebook Marketplace and places like that will post it for free. And normally shit gets picked up, but I haven't had anybody interested in this couch. It's crazy. It's like a brand new couch. And then somebody was posted that they're like, we're looking for, a couch. We need this. Reached out. Hey, I've got a couch. No answer. So, I'm probably gonna have to cut this thing up. We did that one time when we bought a storage unit and there was a couch we didn't realize was in there. It was like tucked in the back. And I say we, I mean me. There's nobody else who helps me with this business. My wife does on like the Whatnot stuff, but like, yeah, I should stop saying we because it's me. Um, it's we on Wednesday or Thursday nights. God damn, why do I keep saying Wednesday? And so we found a storage unit. I found a storage unit, a couch in a storage unit. Jesus. And this yeah, we didn't know it was in there. It was like not a couch anybody was gonna want. I did try to post that one for free. But, yeah, that one we had to just kinda chalk it up as a loss, and I cut it up, and, like, with a box cutter, you just cut off all the fabric, and all the fabric usually fits in, like, one of our trash bags, and then we just have to break down the wood, and it's really easy to, like, break down a couch. It's just a brand new couch, so I hate to get rid of it. I hope somebody wants to take it. I'm gonna try again today after I'm done with this. I got a couple things that I have to post for free to get rid of, yeah. So, and then hopefully once we cleared out all that space, like we cleared out all the yard sale stuff. We cleared out like all the yard sale stuff was gone. That was tons of stuff. And then obviously that was, combined with the estate sale. So we got rid of all that stuff. There's still a couple items we're trying to clear out, like the couch. Um, so we cleared that out. And then I had all those board games that I did. So I bought all those board games for $50 like a month or so ago. We ran the Whatnot. I decided never again. That was the last time we're doing board games. And so I had all these board games left. So I hit up my buddy Dan and he said he would take like I built him like a little box of ones that he wanted. So I put those aside for him. Um, and then I had the rest of them. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'll just throw it up for 50 bucks. You know what I mean? That's what I paid for everything. I got some sales out of it. I still have stuff that I pulled out to sell on eBay. Oops, excuse me, eBay. Like these little Super Mario figures. I was gonna run them for our last video game show, but the figures and stuff weren't going for that much. So I figured I'd sell them on eBay first and see how that goes. Um, and so I took out, a few things from there, and then I took out like there was all these little not brand new, but like really in good condition old McDonald's toys. Like, you find old McDonald's toys and they're like beat to shit. These were in like perfect pristine condition. And I knew they don't sell for much. I could have sold them in a lot for like maybe 15 to 20 bucks. But instead I reached out to my daughter's kindergarten teacher and was like, "Hey, you guys have a little prize box," my daughter said. "Can you guys use all these old McDonald's toys?" And she was like, "Yeah." She was pumped to take them. So I brought those to my daughter's class. So hopefully my daughter got some cool points from her classmates because I got them some cool toys. And they were like cool McDonald's toys. They weren't like shitty ones. They were like X-Men and like Looney Tunes and shit like that. So it was like cool shit. I don't know if kids even know what Looney Tunes is. They probably know X-Men just because it's everywhere. And there was that new X-Men 97, which was fucking amazing. Can't wait for that to come back. Um, but yeah, hopefully they liked it. And so I got rid of that. And what I had left, I just posted on Facebook for 50 bucks. I was like, "Hey, I've got this lot of vintage board games and they're all in like great condition." So I was hoping somebody who was a teacher would reach out. And some lady did. She was like, "Oh, can I come by today? Blah, blah, blah. I'll take them all." It's like, hell yeah, come by. And so she came by and I guess she was only looking for the Mr. Bucket game. And so she was going to donate the rest to her friend who has a classroom. So she got all those games. So they're all in like complete condition. So like these kids are actually going to be able to play the games. So I was happy about that. We got rid of those. So we cleared out a ton of space. So while I was doing that, I was like, let's do this. My mom has these not old, but she had these bins. She was starting a jewelry making business like years ago. And my wife doesn't, but like my wife is trying to figure out when this was happening because I was dating my wife. I've been dating my wife, not dating my wife, but I started dating my wife in like 2012, 2011, 2012, something like that. Been together for a while. And she doesn't remember my mom ever selling jewelry. So like she's had this stuff in bins. It's all brand new. There was like I've started to learn. There was like bead strands. There was like little hangers. There was spacers. There was crystals. There was like tools. There was all types of shit in these bins. And I've been telling my mom because it had been so long since she had made jewelry. I'm like, "Can we start selling this stuff? Like it's sitting in my basement." And because it's on our side in the basement, like the way our house is the basement is under where my mom was living, but there's no access to the basement down there. So that side of the house was just all ours. So like she was storing stuff up in the attic, but she had these bins, and for some reason she wanted to store them in the basement. So they've just been taking up like a shitload of space in our basement. Um, so now she's dead. So I was like, "Fuck it, dude, I'm selling your beads." Um, because I was just kind of in the mode of like moving shit out. So I was like, "All right, let's just fucking pull these out." And I start pulling out the bins of the bead stuff, and it's overwhelming the amount of bead stuff and jewelry making stuff that she has. Um, so I was like, "All right, fuck it, let's just do a pop up." It was like Sunday. My wife was off on Monday. I was like, "Let's do a pop up, see how it goes, and then, we'll go from there." And you never kind of know what to expect with a pop up because, you haven't really advertised it. We're not the biggest name on Whatnot. Um, so I wasn't sure how it was going to go. And so we posted it for like 9:30 a.m. on Monday. So I was like, all right, that'll give us time to get our daughter to school. we can get, like, working on I think this mic might be just a smidge too loud. Um, we can, get our daughter to school, get things situated, and then, I was like, "My wife, you can go help our kid if she needs it." Our other daughter was home. So she was kinda in and out helping me doing that. So we ran it. It started at 9:30, and it started off kinda slow. We had somebody in there, she was, like, asking us about this stuff, and, it was funny. Her name was actually Robin's Beads. So shout out Robin's Beads on Whatnot. She came in, like, was one of the first ones, and we were like, "Yo, this is crazy." I was like, "This estate sale is for my mom." Her name was Robin, and this is all her stuff, so it's pretty crazy that you're the first one in here. She was very nice. She stayed. She was, like, almost the last one to leave. We went for 3 hours on Monday morning, and we went through, like, 150 lots, and by lots, I mean, like, individual I was selling them for $1 starts individually. Some were going for 1, some were going for 2, but we ended up, like, clearing $400, in that 3 hours. Um so I was like, "You know what?" Like, we were trying to just everybody in the and then as we were there, obviously, it started to grow, and, like, these were all, like, people who do jewelries and, like, they were, bead people, I guess, and, I was calling them Beadles. I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna start calling you guys Beadles because you guys are bead people." And, they thought that was awesome. They were like, "That's funny." You know? It's definitely a different crowd. I have to, like, when I'm selling on Whatnot too, I'm not like, on this podcast, I curse a lot and, use words that, like, I wouldn't necessarily use when I'm trying to sell people shit. I curse occasionally, um, but it for this group of people, like, it's not the group of people you wanna be, like, cursing up a storm, and so they were really, really chill, really friendly. Um, they started inviting their friends in, and so they were spending up on stuff. So then one of them was like, they were like asking me, "When are you guys gonna do another one?" Because I showed them like all the shit we had. I was like, "We have this." Like I took a video of everything, showed everybody while we were alive. I'm like, "We have all this shit. We're gonna do another one." So they took down names of everybody who was interested. This person volunteered to take down names. I gotta remember their name. Wild and Free, I think. Wild and Free Jewelry. Some variation of that with like underscore. So thank you, shout out to them because they were a big help too. Um, and so they took down names of everybody and then sent me a message after and was like, "Hey, listen, like you're gonna have people messaging you to buy this stuff, like buy you out of this stuff." She was like, "Don't do it. You guys have so much good stuff." She's like, "Just keep selling it the way you're doing it, and like people will pay you more and more." So I was like, "You know what? We have everything set up." It wasn't like a crazy busy day, and Tuesday was supposed to be raining, or no, Monday was supposed to be raining. I forget, whatever. So we decided anyway to do a double header. We did 2 shows on Monday. So we were like, "Let's go back. We'll run it back on Monday, and we'll do beads again." So we did 8:30 PM on Monday. And, I reached out to the people who were interested, and the person, Wild and Free, who was like, "Oh, we'll do I'll make sure to help you out." They came in, tagged everybody up for me. Um, and so they came in, we had some new people come in, and, things started going for, like, the stuff we were selling early in the day that was going for, like, 2, $3 was going for, like, 6, $7. 6, 7. And so, we ended up doing really well at night. We sold like maybe 100 lots and we made cleared about $300 after all the fees and stuff. So, um yeah, so it ended up being like a really good good sale for us, and we still like we barely made a fucking dent. So, we made about $700 and barely made a dent in this jewelry. So we're going to do it again Thursday night. Then we'll take a little bit of break because I want to get my other people back in there. We've got some video games to run, and we've got some t-shirts, and then there's a big townwide yard sale this weekend. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But yeah, we've been having fun with these bead people. I was telling my wife, I'm like, it's gonna feel like summer camp. You know what I mean? Because we're not really in this world. They've been very accepting, very helpful. Uh, And so I feel like at the end, it's gonna be a little bit sad because we're gonna be like, because we know this isn't a permanent, we're not bead. We don't sell jewelry and shit um, regularly. Like it's not our forte. It's not like I look for it if I can find, if somebody's like, I got a bag of costume jewelry for $5, I'll grab it every time because, I've found gold. I still have gold from like costume jewelry lots that I'm still getting ready to list. I just took some pictures yesterday of some gold. So, I'll grab it if it's there. Occasionally, if there's like a slow yard sale day and there's a sale of jewelry, I'll pick through it. Um, but yeah, we're not like huge jewelry people. So I know, if I see it now, if I find jewelry now, like jewelry making supplies, is somebody getting out of a jewelry making business and they're like $100 for everything, I'm going to jump on that. When normally I probably wouldn't. I probably would be like, no. That's how good it's been. It's like, I'm very excited to go through the rest of the stuff. But yeah, it's gonna feel like summer camp. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like we're gonna have to say goodbye to our Beetle friends, and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna make some money. It's not gonna be like my wife is guessing 10 shows with the amount of at the pace we're going with the amount of stuff that we have, and I think that's probably accurate. Um, But we'll see, it's nice to have that we can just go live. Like I was like, "Oh, I want a couple extra bucks this week because I knew we had the big yard sale coming up. I had some big bills that I had to pay, so I was like, "All right, I want to make sure that I've got money for bills and I want some money for this weekend too, so I don't feel like, I'm on a limited budget." And yeah, it was crazy. We went live twice in one day, and I knew after the first one, I was like, "All right, this is gonna be automatic. We're gonna make some money." So I know that Thursday, tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m., we're gonna be doing jewelry making supplies again. I know it's not like what my base really is into, but I had a feeling we'd get more video games this weekend. So I was like, I'll just load up on some stuff this weekend, run what we have right now. It's already set up. We just left it set up. Um, but it was the main thing is clearing that space. Um, and then so yeah, that's right. And so in between the first, excuse me, in between the first and the second show, I I was back organizing in the basement, and I forgot. I was like, oh, there was a whole other tote of jewelry stuff that I didn't take out yet. So I brought that out, and it was just more brand new, like sealed, just everything was brand new sealed, ready to go. Like some of the stuff was like pre-owned, but all of it still had tags. Um and yeah, it's I'm excited. And we had people like the bead people were like defending us in the chat, which was really nice. I forget what they defended us about something. Oh, that's right. This person came in like after we've been selling everything for like, we've been doing everything $1. And you know, everything's selling, so like I'm listening for $1 and then it's selling for 5, 6, $7. And this person came in and they're like, "Oh, you guys are gonna be running any bundles? I love bundles. Da 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 da. It's much better when people run bundles." Like talking shit basically. I'm like, I would run bundles if this shit wasn't selling like individually. Like what the fuck is the point? Like it's selling individual. Why would I run bundles? Like I'll do a couple bundles, but like the fuck are you gonna come in here and tell us how to switch the show up when it's been working? So somebody in the comments like defended us. They were like, you can't really beat $1 starts and the shipping price is like everything was 1 to 3 ounces. Like, and that's the crazy thing too, is like I set everything to 1 to 3 ounces and then I set all these other different weight categories, thinking like things were gonna be heavier. Everything was 1 to 3 ounces. Like even the heavier beads were like coming up as 1.5 ounces, which you can ship that for 1 to 3 ounces for sure. Um, so my daughter yelling to me. So yeah, we're glad that we have that. It's not my favorite thing to sell, but the people are really nice, and yeah, it's gonna be kind of bittersweet when we finish up these shows, but it won't be for a while. So we'll get to hang out with them for a little bit, And hopefully they'll come check out what else we have. They're not just bead people. You can't just pigeonhole these people into one thing. They like beads, but they might like other shit. One person brought up Taylor Swift. They're like, I got this for my Taylor Swift loving grandchild, something, something, something. So I was like, oh yeah, my kids love Shake It Off. I was like, but they're really Miley Cyrus kids. Like they like her music a lot better. And this person like said something like she's not a very good role model. I'm like, you're talking about Taylor Swift. Like somebody just brought up Taylor Swift. Like Taylor Swift is not a good role model. Like putting out shit music, like putting out fake fucking political opinions and shit that you're paid to give out because you're at that level. Like that's a person you're gonna look up to. At least Miley Cyrus has some fucking, she can sing and her songs are bangers. Um, yeah, like, I've talked about this before. I had a friend that was like, "Do you like Taylor Swift?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love Taylor Swift." And I started playing her catalog. And I was like, maybe I'm not like as into Taylor Swift as I thought." Like, she's got some good songs, but and don't come after me, Swifties. I know you Swifties are not listening to this show. And I don't think they're as rabid as they were. They're all getting like menopause and shit at this point. So. They're old. They're getting old. Taylor Swift fans are getting old. So are Miley Cyrus fans. I mean, I'm in my 30s, and I'm like, that Hannah Montana anniversary special just came out, and I'm like, fucking. That's like I used to watch that show. Like I was on the cusp of being too old for that show. Um, Let me see. I feel like there was something else I want to talk about the bead ones. Um, no, I think that was it. I think that was it. So yeah, that was we're excited. We've still got some other stuff coming up for our shows. So if you're like, a big fan of our whatnot and you think we're gonna like stop doing the same stuff that we were doing, we're not. We're just we've got this inventory to go through, so we're gonna try to focus on it for a little bit. And then, next week we'll get back to a regular show. Maybe do another pop up for the beads. Um, maybe try to do one pop up a week for the beads just to get rid of them. I don't know if that's possible. We'll see. Um, but yeah, it's like in the 70s today. Um, Yard sale weather is back. So there was Saturday was like the first day. There was a community yard sale I talked about that was a week before. But this was like the first week. So there was something Thursday. What did I do Thursday? There was something on Thursday. So on Thursday, this guy hit me up. I think I talked about this already. This guy Bobby I know who he does yard sales. He's another like reseller. He goes out to yard sales, buys and stuff. He'll sell some of it on eBay. So it's like, I'm never getting a crazy deal on stuff. Occasionally, like I got this jacket from him one time. He did $20 on it and I sold it for 200. It was like a Peanuts leather jacket. Um, but it had some issues. So I got 200 for it. I probably could have got more if it was in better shape. And so occasionally I'll get some deals like that. But most of them, like I bought a bunch of video games from him. I got some video games. I got some vintage clothes, and a couple other things. So it wasn't anything like, mind blowing, but the video game lot is going to be really good. There was like a 3DS in there that is for parts, but still, our for parts stuff sells really good on our whatnots. Surprisingly, like better than some of the stuff on eBay would do. Um, and then a bunch of video games, an Xbox, a working Xbox, which are hard to find. Um, so yeah, I got a bunch of stuff there. And then Friday, there was another sale. What the fuck was Friday's sale? Oh, heck yeah. Found some more board games while going through things. Are you interested in them? Oh, god damn it. Why are you doing this to me, man? Um, I don't think I'm interested in any of those board games. I don't think I'm interested in any of those. Yeah, there's nothing great crazy. I might have to look some of these up. Hang in there. Silly Willy Weasels. Yeah, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna pass. I need to remember to hit this guy up and tell him I'm good. Um yeah, let me just set a real quick reminder to reply to this guy, reply to Facebook guy. And we'll do that for 2:20. We should be done by then, 2:20. So if you hear an alarm go off and I'm like, "What the fuck is that alarm for?" It said I gotta remember to hit that guy back up. Um, yeah, so Friday I went somewhere too. I can't even remember where the fuck I went. Um, oh, that's right. So there was a 3-family yard sale. It was on the Cape. So the Cape is like, if you're not familiar with this area, we are like they call where I live the gateway to the Cape. So we're like right over the bridge to get to the Cape. You need to there's 2 different bridges to get to the Cape. There's about to be 3, I think, or they were just redoing a bridge. I can't remember. Um, so I had to go over there, and I don't usually go across the bridge. Like once yard sale season starts, um, going over the bridge is like a bad idea. You're gonna waste a ton of time. There's a ton of traffic. It's unless you go over like first thing in the morning, but even then you might get stuck on the way back trying to get out of traffic. So this time of year I'll go over there, um, especially when there was nothing else going on. So there was a yard sale. It was like a 3-family yard sale, and I got there. I had a dentist appointment at 9:30, so I was like, "Oh shit!" So I got there at 8. Um, their sale was starting at 9, or maybe it was starting at 8. No, it was starting at 9 because I got there a little after 8, and they were like still just like they were pretty well set up. So I asked if I could look around. They're like, "Yeah, is there anything you're looking for?" And first I asked if they had anything like vintage clothes or anything. Um, and she was like, "Yo, I've got this. This is the only thing I have that's vintage." And it said vintage. It was like Weather Vane was the brand. And she's like, "Yeah, it's very expensive. Like, you can get them online for like $100 or something. Like, this is like the Old Navy brand or something. Like, this isn't fucking, and it's not vintage. Anything vintage is not gonna like. Fun fact: anything vintage is not going to say vintage on it, because when it was made, it wasn't considered vintage. So that was the only thing that they had that they said that. So then I was like, for some reason, I didn't ask about video games until they asked me, like, again, they're like, "Oh, is there anything else?" I was like, "Old video games, toys." They're like, "Oh, video games." This girl was like, "Oh, I have an Xbox coming out." And I was like, "Yeah, I'd be interested in that." And then this other kid came out and they're like, "Oh, he's got a bunch of video games." So he was just bringing out the video games as I was asking about them. So he put them down. I went over and looked. And before he even took them out of the box, he was like, "Yeah, you can go through it." So I looked through, asked him how much he was looking for it. He was asking for like 150, which wasn't bad for what he had. Um, but I was like, I could probably negotiate. So I was like, I would do like 100 for everything right now. I was like, then you don't have to take it out of the box. He was like, would you do 120? And I saw like this little cup of replica Bitcoin stuff. I was like, I might be able to use these for like free giveaways. So I was like, if you throw that in, I'll do 120. So he threw it in and I got everything for 120. And there was a couple of like copy of like Mario Double Dash. There was some PlayStation 5 controllers, PlayStation 4 controllers, a couple of like a bunch of other games worth like, 15 to 20. Um, there was a bunch of good stuff in there. And then the girl had the Xbox. So I went back over to her. She finally pulled it out. It was like an Xbox One. And she was asking like 50 for it. So I was like, would you do 20? And she was like, I would do 30. And I was like, what about 25? And we settled on 25. So I got that. And this other kid came out from the 3rd family and he had video games and he was priced ridiculously high on his video game. So I don't think he sold anything because they posted the ad like later in the day. And in the ad, you could still see his video games sitting there. So I'm assuming that they didn't sell any of his video game stuff. I would have bought it all if there was the right price. And then so the kid who I originally was talking to, I had also asked about Pokemon cards, and he brings out like a binder, and then he has like a little tin, and he's like, "Oh, these are the more expensive ones in the tin." And so I was like, "Oh, can I take a look?" And the first one was a Charizard. I can't remember which Charizard it was. It was a more recent one. But it's the one that looks like almost like mosaic glass. It's a cool card. And I go, "Oh, how much is this one?" He goes, "Oh, 350." And in my head, I'm like thinking that's might be a good price. Like I don't, Charizard cards can be good. Um, and like right off I should have looked it up, but right off the bat, I was just like, I'm not going to pay 350. But then he just left it in the tin on the table. I was like, hey man, I was like, I wouldn't leave these cards. Like if these are your expensive cards, put these away. And then if somebody's looking at your Pokemon cards and they want to, take a look at your expensive ones, then pull them out and show him. He's like, "Oh yeah, good idea." Da, da, da. So I'm walking around looking at shit, and I'm like, walking by his table again, and there's the fucking cards in the tin, and in the Pokemon tins, you can see through there's a little window in the front, and you can see on the top of the tin, it's just the Charizard card. So I'm like, this fucking idiot's gonna get this card stolen. So then I went and looked it up, and it's only like a $9,500 card. Um, so I probably could have offered him like $50. I should have showed him that and offered him like 50, and I could have got a nice little Charizard to add to my collection because it's only gonna go up, you know. So he was asking way too much on that 350. I didn't even look. I should have looked. So I'm like, bro, you're like way off. He might have been looking at like the graded ones because the graded ones might be going for a lot more. Well, they obviously are going for a lot more, but his was not graded, and yeah, I feel like he was gonna get robbed because that was fucking stupid. So that was Friday. I got another like nice video game haul on Friday to add to the what I already had. So, we've got a whole show essentially right now ready to go for video games. I just got to test the ones I can test. And then Saturday, so this was like the first back to back to back. And then Saturday there was a few sales. There was like, nothing crazy. Nothing that I was like, oh, I need to get there and fucking wait. But there was like three sales away, kind of out in the sticks. Not in the sticks, but kind of. So I went out there and I got to the first sale because their sale said, get there early, blah, 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 blah. So I got there early and they weren't ready. They had stuff outside, but like you could tell they left it out from the night before. So I was like, all right, I'll go swing to some of these other sales and then swing back. So I went to go see one of the other sales and found a sign. So I followed that sign and no signs of life yet. But they didn't have a day or time, but it was like a fresh estate sale sign. And then I ended up actually seeing an ad for that sale later, and the sale was like the next week. So it's like, why the fuck do you have your signs out now? Or put the date if it's not this week. So I found a couple like that where I would like find a random sign, go find the sale, and there was nothing. So I went back to that first sale. That was the only one that actually was happening in that area, apparently. And they were out finally. It was like a dad and his daughter. And they had some stuffies. I got some stuffies. That was why I went there because they were saying that they had like a bunch of like new stuffies. There's a lot of Squishmallows and like, honestly, Squishmallows, I haven't really had luck with them even on Whatnot. Um, I had a couple Squishmallows in the last one and they were cool. They sold for like $1 or two. Like it wasn't anything worth my time. So they had like a couple Build-A-Bear Pokemon. I grabbed those. Um, a couple other like cool plush. We do well with like cool looking plush. It was like a penguin dressed up as a dinosaur. That was a cool, cute one. They had like some Monster High DVDs, so I bought a lot of those. So I got everything for like $20, and then I got some Halloween costumes. They had like really nice Spirit and Ruby Halloween costumes. So like I'll grab those if they look complete and they're in good shape, if it's early enough from Halloween. So I have a bunch of Halloween costumes I'm going to get listed soon cuz people will start buying for Halloween like sooner than you think. So I'm excited for that. But this was another situation like I was talking to them, they're cool. They had some Legos that were overpriced that I didn't really want to get into it with them about. Not get into it because they were taking offers on it. They were asking like 35 and they each sold for like 40. So it's like even if I was like, "Hey, can you do 20?" It kind of wasn't worth it. Um but this is the same like similar situation. So this daughter, I see her, she's probably like 13, 12, 13, and I see her put on a fanny pack for money. Like they have a conversation about her fanny pack. She puts it on and I'm shopping around still. A couple minutes go by, and I look, and the fanny pack is just sitting there like with other stuff. And I was like, I saw her put this on, like this is her money bag. So I go, hey, I think this is your money bag. I pulled it up, and he looks at his daughter. He's like, how did you leave that already? Like, and I'm like, I know, I saw her put it on. So that's the only reason I knew it was the money bag. So she took it and put it on. But I'm like, these kids just leave money like, I never put shit down when I have like, I'll be like, all right, let me handle my money first. If somebody's asking me something, I don't just like put it in my pocket. I'm like, all right, give me 1 minute. Let me handle my money and then I'll get back to you. Um, so yeah, I went to that one. That was a good one. And then there was one that I just drove by that was like a pop up one. and I go, and they were supposed to start at 9. It was like 8:40 when I rolled by there. Wasn't advertised or anything like that. And so they're bringing stuff out from, like, a back area, and I asked the lady my usual stuff. She's like, "Oh, we might have some toys coming out, blah, 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 blah." She's like, "They should be up in the next truckload." Like, they're bringing truckloads of stuff out for the sale. She's like, "We're a little behind." So they were supposed to start at 9. So they bring a truckload out. I waited around. I was on my way to another sale, and I waited for a couple minutes, and, the truck comes up and there's fucking like nothing on it. There's like, a couple of things of furniture. They're taking out like they didn't even fill the truck bed. So I'm like, this is gonna take them forever. Like she's like, oh, they're gonna go get another truckload. I was like, all right, I'll come back. Like, and it was far enough away where I was like, I'm not coming back. Like the stuff that they had wasn't really interesting to me. And so I skipped out on that. And then I headed out. There was a sale that I had on my list, so I went to that one because there was an estate sale at like 10 a.m. that I wanted to get to. So I was kind of making my way that direction, and this was around like 9 o'clock. And so I see, um, I go to the sale that I was supposed that had advertised, and there's no sale there. I'm like, God damn it! Like, what is up with these fucking sales not existing? So then, so then I see another ad for a sale, like somebody had just posted or something on Facebook. So I shoot over there, and I had my first. Oh, by the way, the sale that I went to, I had put the numbers wrong, so that's why I couldn't find the sale. I saw the ad later in the day, and I was like, "Fuck." I put the number wrong, so I fucked that one up. But anyway, so I went to this next sale, and I've been there before. I never really find anything. They're like these two stoners that fucking sit outside. I didn't realize it till I got there. They're really nice. But he just sits outside smoking. I'm like, how are you gonna sit and smoke like at your own yard? So like I get it, it's your yard sale, but like stand off to the side. He's just standing and he's got like baseball cards and he's just smoking, blowing smoke on all these cards. I'm like, nobody's gonna want to buy this shit from you, especially like at the prices they were asking. But I did tell them about my 420 show because they had a big bong outside. It was dirty as fuck. I was like, I got some new bongs and glass pipes, and I'm gonna be running on a sale. If you guys want to check it out, I gave them my card. But when I got there, I saw you guys have heard me talk about her before. This lady Susan. It was my first Susan sighting of the summer. Summer of Susan, dude. And so this lady, dude, this lady is out of her fucking mind. So I pull over. I'm parked on the side of the road for this yard sale, and I'm getting out of my car, and she sees that it's me. So she stops her car in the middle of the fucking road, like doesn't pull over, just stops her car in the middle of the road as I'm walking to the sale, jumps out of her car and like runs in front of me. Like this lady is fucking nuts, dude. And I knew I was going for the cards. I knew that's where she was going. So I walked like right over to the cards and she gets up right next to me. I'm like, I fucking hate this lady. And she's like, "Oh, how you doing?" In her fucking Boston accent. How you doing? Oh, fucking, you doing good? I'm like, oh, dude, just I'd be better if you weren't here. Like I didn't want any of their shit. But it's just like, dude, she's so fucking crazy. It's crazy that people like this is the only person I met that like I know they exist, but like, dog, she's the one that like ripped video games out of my hands before. I was like, I asked the lady about them and then walked over to them, had them in my hands, and she like took them out of my hands. And they weren't anything I wanted, and they were like shit games for like way more money than I wanted to pay for them. So I just gave them to her. But I'm just like, lady, you're fucking nuts. But she's always super chill to me with, like, after it's like the initial, like, "Okay, there's nothing here that he can get over me." And, like, yes, I usually get to sales before she does, but this one, like, she must have just seen it when I did, and so we pulled up at, like, the same time. But just crazy, and then there's somebody trying to get out, and they're, like, beeping their car horn, like, "Can you move your car?" She just parks in the middle of the fucking road just so she can try to beat me, like, fucking insane, dude. She's my yard sale nemesis if ever I had one. Um Anyway, yeah, so that was a good day. So I went from there, and then I finally made it over to the estate sale that I wanted to get to, and, they it was like a family-run estate sale, I had a feeling, and so it was just basically like there wasn't a lot of good stuff, like, it was, you know, looked like they might have cleaned out some of it, but I was like, "Oh, do you have any like, old T-shirts, this, that, and the other?" Like, "No, probably not." And so then I started digging, like, you go in the attic. There was, like, a bunch of different rooms in this house. So I was in the attic and I started digging and I found, like, some cool T-shirts, like, nothing crazy, but, like, cool Disney ones that you don't see every day. And, a lot of them were, like, thrashed. I found in the garage, I found, like, an old, from, like, the '70s or '80s, Basketball Hall of Fame, um, T-shirt. It's completely thrashed. So I'm still gonna list it and see what I get, but yeah, I did find some T-shirts, and she charged me like $5 for everything. I got like 15 T-shirts for like $5. So they were disgusting and grody. I had to clean them up, and I cleaned them up already. It was nice on Monday, so I got those cleaned up and dried out and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, it was like the first weekend of like back to back to back to back sales, which was nice. I'm kind of like I like when there's more sales like that. So this weekend there's supposed to be a town-wide yard sale. It's their first time doing it. It's in it's not too far, but I know there's going to be some competition. Because there's a guy that I know that lives in that area. He'll be out, but we only really look for clothes, and I usually am out there before him. So we'll see how it goes. My buddy's supposed to come out and go with me. I'm not big like I don't mind bringing people when they want to go to yard sales. I really don't. Um, until, like, it's the day of, then I'm like, "Fuck, this is gonna slow me down." Because 'Cause I'm quick, dude. I go, like, to a yard sale. Once I go through all the stuff, I'm on to the next. If they're still pulling stuff out, obviously, I'll wait, but, like, if it's everything's out and you can kinda tell, I'll ask what else they're bringing out, and if it doesn't seem anything I'm interested in, I'm on to the next. But, you bring somebody there, they're, like, looking at stuff, you're done, ready to go, and they're like, "Oh, I gotta wait to pay for this," and so I do like having the company, but, I'd rather fly solo, so Dan, if you're listening, I still want you to come. Don't take this as me not wanting you to come, but, I just, you know, this is my thoughts as a reseller. I prefer to work alone, lone wolf, but again, I love to, especially a town wide because 'cause they're not usually great, but, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh, yeah, and then so I found there was like a pop-up sale that I found while I was driving around, and I recognized the address, but I was like, "Oh, I'll go over there." And I got there and it was a sale that I had gone to last year, and it was like a husband and wife, and then next door was this old lady, who like she had like that, how when old ladies have been smoking cigarettes, even old men, and their hair gets like that, it's hard to explain. You know what I'm talking about. Like they get like that hair that just looks like it's been smoked on. Like it looks like it's covered in like a film of cigarette smoke. And they're like, it's like discolored. Like they just, you know, it's like getting slightly brown or red from the cigarette smoke. Like fucking, um, but so I remember being at a sale last year. So like the husband and wife on the other side were super cool. They're kind of resellers. I probably could have made a big deal on all of their stuff. You know what I mean? They're like not like resellers like that. Like I probably could. They had a bunch of toys and shit like that. I probably could have made a big bundle deal for. But again, I just don't have the time for that. Like I was excited to get into bundle buys on whatnot, but now that we have all this jewelry, I was like, I don't want to really get into that right now. And then next door was like the other lady that was there. So I was talking to her. I was like, "Hey, I came here last year and you had a bunch of like cool old T-shirts." I was like, "Do you have any more? Like, did you get any more in?" She's like, "Oh, I don't. Let me go get my friend." And her friend comes over, same smoky fucking hair. Could smell cigarettes right on her as she walked over, and she's like, "Oh, I got some T-shirts, but like, I was planning on selling them on eBay, so I didn't think I was gonna sell them for like $5 a piece. Just so you know." I was like, "All right, I'll take a look at them." So she brings out a big stack. She had some military ones that were like, I passed on those. And then a couple like random, just like, colleges that like, not like good brands or anything like that. But then she had like a 20th anniversary Marshall Mathers t-shirt. It looked old as fuck. So I got it originally thinking it was vintage. But then I realized that it was like it was official from his merch, but it was the 20th anniversary of the Marshall Mathers LP. So like, it's not old at all. It's just a couple years old. Um, and then, but it still looks like it might be a good one that I grabbed because I can't find it anywhere. Like I couldn't find another one of the same one. And it's a really cool graphic. It's his official merch. So I think I'll be fine with that. There was like a Grateful Dead Felix the Cat one. another like vintage Felix. So I grabbed I think 6 shirts from her, and I was like, I don't know, would you do like $50? And she was like, yeah, I'll do that. So I did $50, which was like, you know, what would it have been? So there's 6 shirts, 5. It would have been like $30 for the 6. I paid her like 20 more than she wanted. So it probably came out to like $7 a shirt instead of 5, something like that. But they ended up, I mean, I'll do well on those shirts, I think. Some of them I'll do in the whatnot. There was like a vintage Survivor one that the Survivor shirts looked like they were going for good money. So I think we'll be all right with that. Um, so yeah, I feel okay spending the 50 on that. And I already got the cigarette smoke out. I'm gonna tell you how I get cigarette smoke out of shirts. It's really fucking easy to get cigarette shirt smell out of your shirts. It's hard to get it out of a lot of other stuff, but cigarette smoke out of t-shirts all day, easy. So what you do is you take your shirt and you fucking I do it outside because it's, I don't want it like in my sink and all that stuff. But like I just run it under the hose and I'll put like a little bucket that I, use to clean clothes and stuff. And so I just run it and you just kind of squeeze it, wring it out, run it under the water. You keep doing that and you'll see the water is like fucking brown. Like it's disgusting. The water will come out like brown as fuck. So I do that until the water runs clean and then I'll hit it with the cleaning, clean it, wash it, dry it, whatever. But just doing that, like I feel like you can already like the cigarette smoke already comes out by just doing that part. You know what I mean? Then I'll like maybe do like a light fragrance just so it doesn't smell at all. But like I've done that with a bunch of shirts now where like I pre-wash them, just rinse them, rinse them, rinse them, and wring them, wring them, wring them, and get them till they run clean. And like all the smell is in that water. It fucking comes out. It's crazy. I didn't know that you could do that. Um, but yeah, you can essentially just wring the water, the cigarette smell out of your t-shirts, and it'll go away. So little trip. I know I don't give out too many like tips and tricks on here, but that's one of the ones that I do that like it fucking works. Like you just wring it out repeatedly until the water runs clean, not clean, but the water is not showing. What do you mean? What am I thinking of? The water's not showing. It's just the water's clear. That's what I'm trying to say. So, little tip if you want to get cigarette smoke out of your shirt. I had to do a thing for my project for school. Still in school. I told you guys I don't even know if I'm going to be able to finish because they told me I couldn't use my business as work experience. My neighbors actually were like, if you want to just use us as your work experience, because they're opening up a little gym franchise, they're like, we'll hire you, like, not hire me, but like put me on as like an intern. So I checked with my school to see if that's fine, because that way I can at least, I'll help them out for sure because they're helping me. But like I won't have to commit as much time, they'll let me kind of do it how I want. So, um, so yeah, and those are my neighbors. They're cool shit. Actually, I was talking to my neighbor. We went out to to a basketball game or something, like a local basketball game, and had a couple drinks. And he got pretty sauced up, and he was telling me about like he's like I want to help your business, man. Like I believe in what you're doing. This, that, and the other. Like, what can I do to help you? Like, if I give you $10,000 right now, like, what would you do with it? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like if somebody gave me 10 grand right now, I don't even know what I would do with it. Like I don't need anything right now at this stage of, my reselling journey, if you will. But time, like I just need time. So I was like, I couldn't even answer that. He's like, what would you do with $10,000? Like, I don't even know what I would do with $10,000 right now. I mean, maybe put in a new shed, but I don't even think 10,000 would cover like a decent shed. It might. I have no fucking idea. Still trying to find a new truck. I have my eye on a 2024 Nissan Frontier, so I'm trying to find one of those pre-owned. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. Um, oh yeah, so I had a project due. It was like I had to do a 2-minute like commercial read basically for the radio. And so the teacher was like, "Yeah, you don't have to use professional audio." I'm like, bitch, that's all I have is professional audio. If you've done the podcast, you'll know I don't have video. All I have is my professional audio, so I was like, I gotta make it sound professional. So I hooked up all my podcast equipment and I did it. I did 3 takes, and, yeah, I think I did well. I don't even know. I don't know how I'm doing in these classes right now. None of them have the grades up yet, so I don't even know how I'm doing. You just kinda have to guess. Um, but I've got, like, 4 weeks left of those classes, 3 weeks left maybe. And then I gotta start a summer class, which is annoying. And then, hopefully I'll be done in the fall if I can even finish. We'll see. If they tell me no to working for my neighbors, then I'm gonna be like, there's nothing I can do. That's like that's what I can do. So I signed up for online classes because I thought I would be able to do all online. And, my options are either go in 150 hours a week to the school, which I can't do, um, or, so I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. We'll see. Hopefully they take my solution and they're like, sure, go work for your neighbors. Um, anyway, let me see what else I have. I think that's all about all I have. We do have a show coming up on Monday. Um, Monday at 4:20. So that one's not like our regular scheduled program. But if you're, into 420 stuff, we've got all those pipes and bongs and glass things. We're selling them as tobacco use only. So I don't buy them if you're going to use them for something else. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, so we've got like a bunch of glass pieces. We're going to be doing Taco Bell gift card giveaways. And then, we've got some other stuff too. I've got like a cool we have a 420 themed T-shirt, and then I've got, like, 420 themed ashtrays, and so it's gonna be a good time. I'm hoping that it's, a successful sale. We got a bunch of bookmarks on it already. I know that doesn't necessarily equal, people coming in, but, we've got a lot of cool glass pieces. I'm excited to go through it. I'm gonna start going through some of that stuff today. And then hopefully we'll be ready to go on Monday. We've got our Thursday show tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Again, we're doing the jewelry making stuff. So if you're not too into that, don't worry. We won't be doing that as our regular show every week. We just, we know we're gonna make money, and we also need to get this shit cleared out because there's just so much of it. Um, yeah, my wife keeps looking at it and she's like, "How is there this much shit? Like this was your mom's life savings right here. Like this is where all her money is in this shit. Like Jesus fucking Christ." So, we got to get rid of that stuff. Um, but yeah, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Perry Flips with a Z. Um, Facebook, it's Flips and Giggles. eBay, Flips and Giggles. Whatnot, Flips and Giggles. Um, So yeah, make sure you follow me everywhere. Leave a review if you like the podcast. We got somebody who left a review, so thank you so much. It really helps us out. And I am working on the video. Video is coming. I have my first video. Like I'm editing it right now. I started last night and I just got too tired, so I don't want to make any mistakes. But I'm using it's called Opus Clip. Shout out to Chris Kern from Beyond Behind the Lines podcast. He kind of put me onto that. I liked what he was doing with his podcast, and so I'm gonna use that. It's like $30 a month. It's $15 a month if you pay for it for the year. But like, I need to make sure I like it. You know what I mean? I did the trial, and they only give you so many credits. So I can't even finish a full video to see like what it looks like. So we'll see. I'm gonna finish fucking around with it today, and I'm hoping that I can have that uploaded. I uploaded one video to YouTube, and it's not there. It was like on there last week, and it's already gone. So I don't know if it got flagged or what. But like the audio version's still up, so it doesn't make any sense. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But it is coming. It's coming. I was gonna just plug right into the computer and record right into it today, but I've realized at the last minute that I didn't actually fuck around with it enough to know what I'm doing. So I just figured I'd record the video, then upload it afterwards. So I think it should be a little bit quicker if I can upload it right into the actual software. And then that way it won't take me all that time like loading it. So I should be able to get caught up. Hopefully this week I'll get caught up on editing the videos. Those will be up and I'll be able to release some short like clips. It's already got it all clipped out for me from the first episode. There's like 15 clips or something like that. So I'm going to be able to start putting up like audio video clips on I'm going to put them up on the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast page, and then I'm going to just basically repost them onto my Instagram. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, with this podcast every Wednesday we should be releasing it. So the audio will at least be out every Wednesday if that's how you're listening to it. And then once we get that video up, you'll be able to watch me. Let's sit on the couch. This is all I'm fucking doing is just sitting on the couch. So I don't know why audio matters, but we got to play the game, and we appreciate you guys being patient with me. We appreciate you being patient with me. I appreciate you being patient with me. I think that's the podcast. Yeah, just don't forget, if you're thinking about getting My Reseller Genie, use my promo code Giggles. You get 15% off your subscription, and then 15% off. So I think it comes out to like a few months free or something like that, they said. But it's like 15% off the software, 15% off the bookkeeping course using promo code Giggles, or just use my link in the bio of my Instagram. Thank you again. Make sure you like the show. Hit that notification so you know when we go on every week. And yeah, come hang out with our whatnots. It's really fun, and we do a lot of giveaways, and we have all different types of stuff. So if you haven't checked it out yet, come check it out, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.